After making a video about Cell, I just had to make one about the other two big Z villains. So here are 28 fun facts about Frieza and Majin Buu. And let's start directly with fact number 1. Did you know that Frieza's race can make their own forms? When Frieza first turned into Golden Frieza in Resurrection of F, he indirectly stated that he chose that golden color to mock the Super Saiyan transformation. It also explains how Cooler's final transformation was different than Frieza's. But then it begs the question, why did Frieza make his last transformation black? Did you know that Frieza has a son? Yes, in one of Toriyama's one-shots, Neko Majin Z, he introduced a character called Frieza, who's literally Frieza's son. Unfortunately, not much was said about his origin or how he was born. He's also a playable character in Dragon Ball Z 2V, a revamped version of Dragon Ball Budokai 2 that only released in Japan. Even though it's never been officially stated anywhere that Frieza has some sort of regeneration capabilities, when Krillin cut his tail in his second form, he somehow regrows it in his final form, just for it to be cut off again after surviving Goku's Spirit Bomb. Knowing Toriyama, this was probably a mistake, but who knows. Did you know that Toriyama based Frieza's design on his deepest and darkest fears? Like, I don't know about you, but when I first saw Frieza's final form as a kid, it genuinely scared me. Toriyama even said that Frieza's background and his business of acquiring and selling planets was based on the real estate speculators during the late 1980s housing bubble in Japan. He referred to them as the worst kind of people, abusing such a crisis for profit. It's also probably why Frieza speaks in such a polite and refined manner. He's literally just a businessman. Did you know that Toriyama disliked drawing Frieza's third form as it had too many details, hence why he gave Frieza's final form a more simple design. Another cool fact about Frieza's third form is that it was an homage to the Xenomorph from the Alien movie. Like, I don't think I even have to spell it out for you, like, they literally have the same head. Did you know that Frieza and Cooler were voiced by the same voice actor? He just toned his voice to be deeper when voicing Cooler, and higher when voicing Frieza. Did you know that Frieza and his family names are based on cold things? Frieza is a pun on freezer, kin, cold, and cooler. Even his henchmen follow a pattern. Their names are literally inspired by things you would put in a fridge. For example, Burger is inspired by the word butter, a pool from the word apple, Ginyu literally means milk in Japanese, same for Goldo, it means yogurt in Japanese, Jace in Japanese resembles the word cheese, same with Rekum, it resembles the word cream in Japanese. That's just why Toriyama is the goat. You probably already know that Toriyama gave the Super Saiyan transformation yellow hair just so he could stop coloring hair, but did you know that it's the same laziness that helped him design Golden Frieza? He said in an interview that he just couldn't make Frieza's form simpler, so he mainly just changed his color and literally chose gold because it felt like the strongest. That's actually a pretty crazy story, but did you know that it was a Japanese band that inspired Toriyama to bring back Frieza? He was at one of their concerts where they played a song called F, which was an homage to Frieza, and it just sparked something in him, which then led to Resurrection of F a couple of years later. I wouldn't even be surprised if the title of the movie itself was inspired by the name of the song, as the song was literally featured in the movie during Frieza's revival scene. Like, when you think about it, Toriyama really made a whole movie because he liked the song and wanted to include it somehow in the franchise. Like, that's just crazy. Did you know that Frieza's lineage isn't really that strong? It's been confirmed by Toriyama that Frieza and King Cold are anomalies and way stronger than the average fighter from their race. Did you know that in the 1997 Dragon Ball GT stage play in Japan, Frieza actually had a unique transformation exclusive to that live show? That form resembled Frieza's first form with different colors and spikes in his head, and was never seen again. Did you know that in Budokai 2, where Frieza gets taken over by Babidi and becomes Majin Frieza, him and Majin Cell were even special costumes in the Japanese exclusive version of Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, called Dragon Ball Z 2V. Honestly, I would have gone crazy as a kid being able to use Majin Frieza and Cell. It's really unfortunate that this version of Budokai never made it out of Japan. In Dragon Ball Budokai, there is an alternate ending where Frieza defeats Goku and Namek, and actually succeeds in wishing for immortality. immortality using the Dragon Balls. And the worst part is that the first thing Frieza chooses to do once he becomes immortal is to go destroy the Earth, which is honestly just terrifying as there are no warriors left there to stop him. Also, I just reread the Planet Namek Saga arc, absolute peak by the way, and I'm pretty sure that this what if ending isn't even possible, as you had to know the Namekian language to ask Porunga for a wish, which was literally the only reason why Frieza failed to wish for immortality in the original story. Now, moving on to the facts about Buu. Did you know that Toriyama named the Bibidi, Babdi, and Buu after a Disney song? The Bibidi Bobidi Boo music from Cinderella. Like how Toriyama picks his characters' names will never stop to surprise me. You probably already know how Toriyama likes to reuse the designs of his characters, like how Cell's design, for example, was heavily inspired by Dio from Cashman, one of Toriyama's one-shots. Well, Boo's no different. Fat Boo's design was inspired by the Teapot Genie from Dr. Slump. But what's funny is that I wouldn't even be surprised if Mr. Popo's design was also inspired by that same character. Like I said previously, Frieza was inspired by the 1980s Japan real estate speculators. But did you know that Boo's ability to absorb and control others was meant to reflect the greed and consumption of those same people? Have you ever wondered why Boo's design was so much simpler than the other Z villains? Well, it's simply because he kind of burned out drawing Cell, as his design was quite complex with his different patterns. So he just opted for a design that would be easier to draw. Did you know that in the manga, Buu had gloves like hands, but in the anime, his hands had 5 fingers? I don't know why they gave both First Form Cell and Kid Buu 5 fingers in the anime, but it's pretty interesting that it happened more than once. I've heard that it was due to some law in Japan, where you weren't allowed to show fewer than 10 fingers or toes for whatever reason. Like honestly, who knows? Did you know that Buu is the only canon villain to be defeated by the Spirit Bomb, since this technique was literally taught to Goku as a final trump card, so you would have expected it to beat more than one villain in the canon universe? This is a pretty well known fact, but if you don't know, Kid Buu isn't actually called Kid Buu in Japan. He's literally just called Pure Buu, which I guess makes more sense. Did you know that Buu is the only villain to have his origin story being retconned not once but twice? In the original story, it was stated that Buu was created by Babidi's father, Bibidi. Then later on, in a V-Jump interview, Toriyama stated that Buu was actually not created by Bibidi, but that he had existed since the beginning of times. Then in Dragon Ball Daima, we were shown that Buu was actually created by a witch named Marba. Like, that's just crazy. I don't know which origin story you prefer, but I personally like the idea of Buu being an entity that has always existed, and that just grew stronger and stronger by feeding on the evil energy of the universe. That's honestly just a funny fact, but if you didn't know, Super Boo's favorite candy flavor is coffee, while in one of the English dubs, it's chocolate. Honestly, it's not like we can tell the difference. The candy he turned Vegito into could very well be a chocolate or a coffee candy, or even both. Did you know that Mr. Buu has a wife? In the Korean MMO Dragon Ball Online, Buu kind of got lonely after reading one of Hercule's adult books. Like, hold up, pause. So he literally just split himself in half and made Miss Buu. Then they reread the book together and came with some kind of technique called the Love Beam, where they took pieces of each other, put the pieces together, and shoot a beam to create a child. And this is how the Majin race was started in that universe. Like, I don't know who came up with that story, but that's crazy. If you ever wondered what happened to the blind boy Buu healed, well, he gets a full story in the Korean MMO Dragon Ball Online, where he becomes very wealthy and then decides to create a theme park to bring joy to the people and Majins of Earth, and also commemorate the entity that cured his blindness. Like, that's actually pretty wholesome. You probably already know how Buu takes more than the strength of the people he absorbs, but also their personality traits. But did you know that in the Dragon Ball game Budokai 2, Buu absorbs Yamcha and Tien, which actually makes him less confident. Like, he literally regrets absorbing them. But Tien and Yamcha are not the only characters he absorbs. He also absorbs Frieza, Cell, and Vegeta. This is a completely useless fact. But Kid Buu in GT has white eyes, while in Z he had red pupils. I think they literally just forgot that his eyes were red or something like that. In the Dragon Ball spin-off manga, Dragon Ball SD, there's a what-if scenario where Buu never met Mr. Satan, which then led him to absorb various characters like Videl, Krillin, Yamcha, Master Roshi, and Puar. So this is it for today's video. If you've got more interesting facts about Frieza or Buu, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. And if you haven't watched it yet, I think this video might interest you. 28 perfect facts about Cell.